Hello, UNL Senior Design Team. My name is Scott Stringer, and I am the Product Manager for DMSi's Log and Lumber products. Today, we are going to be talking about voice log scaling. Let's jump in. Agenda for the pitch video today. First, we're going to go into who is DMSi as a company. Then we're going to talk about a backstory on log scaling, what it is, why we do it, and then finally, why voice and why it's important for the industry to have. Then we'll go to some technical details about the product itself, some challenges we have with this problem that we're looking to solve, and lastly, market impact. So who is DMSi Software? We are a locally owned Nebraska-based ERP software company founded in 1976. We do have a focus on the building materials industry. Currently, we have over 400 customers and 20,000 users on our main US product. And we have a variety of products, but they do serve industries such as the distributors, LBM dealers and retailers, millwork and production shops, and last but not least, the log and lumber industry that we will focus on today. So what is log scaling? Really, in essence, what we're doing is finding a value to each and every log or tree that has been harvested from the woods. So a lot of folks take this for granted, but you're surrounded by wood today. The house that you live in, the furniture that you sit on, the flooring that you stand on, your bed, your moldings, toilet paper, whiskey and wine barrels, railroad ties, etc., 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 all come from trees. But don't worry, right now in the US, on average, for every one tree that's cut down, 2.8 trees grow in its place. So the industry is really focused on sustainability. And so having a wood product in your house or purchasing a wood product is actually very sustainable and good for the environment. So let's get into log scaling in a little bit more detail. So each and every tree and log are unique from each other. And in the US alone, there are over 800 tree species. And so as these trees are cut, they are typically brought to a sawmill, and that sawmill will then identify the attributes of that log in order to give that log a value. So a lot of the attributes come down to one being a species. In this example, we can say a species is white oak. Two being the length. An example that could be 8. 3 being the diameter. Example there could be 13. And lastly, a grade. Now, a lot of the companies have a proprietary grade that we won't get into. But let's just say a grade of number 1 as an example. And so the sawmill, as they will do these 4 attributes typically for every log that comes in. And just to give you a little bit more context, an average size US sawmill can consume up to 500 logs a day. And that is, to put that in a truckload volume, that's up to 25 truckloads of logs per day. So you can imagine they're doing these attributes on average 500 logs per day. So it's important to accurately capture all that data and provide a value internally so they can keep track of their costs. So why is voice interpreted data important? And so there's a few reasons, but currently we have a handheld device that captures all this data and is stored, and it works great. However, where trees grow all over the US, and they typically grow in cold climates as well. And so voice becomes very handy in those cold climates. One being you can wear big, heavy gloves and not have to worry about physically entering numbers into a keypad. They can just speak it into a microphone, and a device will capture all that data for them. This picture happened to be taken in a -6-degree wind chill. So as you could imagine, you're outside. You'd like to keep your hands as warm as you can with gloves. But technical details. So the tool set of our mobile app is built on React Native. The back-end APIs are already complete. We shouldn't need them for this project, but just wanted to point out that we already have those complete. A language model, we're leaving that up to the senior design team to come up with the best language model that'll work for this product. And with a final goal of really to release this in a production environment and be production ready. Let's move on to some challenges that we see with this product. One, it has to work in offline mode. What I mean by that is the users in this industry, when they're scaling logs, they're typically out in the field somewhere, they're in the woods, they do not have cell service, and they do not have Wi-Fi. So typically the information is downloaded locally onto a device, and then they can do that via Wi-Fi, and then off they go on the road to offline where they start scaling logs. So that large language model needs to be stored locally on that device. We're looking to get away from training each user's voice to the system. So we want an easy implementation. So looking at a language model that can work with obviously many different folks. This would be a single app deployed to the App Store, but it's going to support multiple customer configurations. I'll dig into that a little bit more here in the next slide. And we're also going to work against multiple databases to validate the info. So each customer will have their configuration, they'll have different species lists, grades list, and each will have to work against that database. The speed is super important here. So the flow of how we voice speak in the species length, diameter, and grade, very important to the project. And we're also looking to provide feedback to the user. So as they are speaking this in, we want to give them feedback that the information has been captured and it's accurate. And then lastly, they are going to be using this in noisy environments. So there's going to be heavy machinery, loaders, forklifts, you name it, it'll be around them operating. So here's some log scale details, and this is the screenshot on the right is a screenshot of our current mobile app. So you can see here we do have a tag field. The tag number is optional, but this will be a tag that's unique to each individual log. Species field here for each log, RO equals red oak, WO equals white oak, so on and so forth. Grade here, and then lastly, our length and diameter. So I'm going to pull up our mobile app. So this is our scale ticket entry screen. So there are some header data that the user will assign. One example of that just being the supplier itself. Obviously here I'm entering it on our device. We're looking to speak this in. Let me jump to page 4 here, and we're going to jump right into adding a log. So this is our log tally form, and what I'm simply going to do is have a species of red oak, a length of 10, a diameter of 13, and a grade of 2. I'll hit enter, and it goes straight, clears the fields and goes straight to the next log. You'll see the tag number there at the top automatically will sequence after I save a log. So just to show you a few more examples, length of 8, diameter of 14, grade of number 3, enter, clear the fields, and the tag automatically sequences. Species red oak, length 14, diameter 15, grade of 1, enter. So I do have the option, if I want to, I can lock a field in. So in this example, we're going to say that every log from this load will be white oak. And so until I unlock that field, every log I tally is now going to be static as white oak. Just saves me from entering or speaking one more thing. So if I hit enter here, white oak will be static. I move on to the next log. So lastly, market impact. So this would really complete the last missing piece we have for the DMSi log system that's currently built. Voice-directed systems is really highly valued in the northeastern U.S. market. Definitely for cold climates, they want that hands-free way of capturing all their data. Um, Thirdly, this really emphasizes the strategy that DMSi has, a focus on the hardwood and softwood market. And lastly, this is going to be easy to install compared to some house systems are installed today. We're looking to make this easy for the end user. A lot of these folks are not tech savvy, so the simpler we can make it on their side, it makes them super happy. So thanks again for joining in our pitch video, and look forward to working with you soon.